name is Caroline and welcome to my channel, my little corner of the internet where I talk all about cross stitch and sewing and knitting and all the other crafty things I get up to. And today is a very special episode because today I'm finally going to film my whip parade. So why am I filming a whip parade right now? Whip parades are usually put onto Flosstube at the end of the year and sometimes also like a mid-year whip parade in June or July. And I actually started my Flosstube channel a little over a year ago. My very first video went live on the 25th of September 2023 and today is the 28th of September. So as close as I could get it. And I want to show you all the whips I have at the moment. And if you don't know, a whip is a work in progress. So all the cross-stitch projects that I am currently working on, or if not actively working on, that I have started. And I will be going through all my projects and also decide if I want to UFO some. UFO means unfinished object, and basically to abandon them, or if some of them are pips. And pip is a name or a term that my friend Alex from Select Stitches came up with, and that means project or pattern in pause. So those for me are those projects that if I pick it up, I'm like, nah, I don't know if I want to work on that, but also I don't want to abandon it. So just something in between there. I have a very different setup today. I was struggling so much to find somewhere to film, and also the lighting situation. It's not ideal, I have to say, but if I don't get this filmed today, I don't know when I will, because the reason for all of that is that I might have caught COVID. I'm feeling fine, still a little bit of a runny nose, a little bit of a headache. All the tests are negative still, but I was in close contact with 2 colleagues for 2 whole days on a work trip that are positive now. So my husband and I are social distancing at the moment. We are in the lucky situation that we have 2 apartments next to each other. So he is in one and I am in the other, so that I don't pass it on to him if I get it. And he is in the apartment that has my craft room and where I usually film. But I am in the other apartment where the more comfy bed is and the kitchen we usually use. So if I get sick, that I have those. Let's stop the babbling and get right into it. I have ironed everything and I have split up all my whips into piles per size. So I have in total 48 whips at the moment. And I think a year ago I had 13. So oopsie. I have to admit, I feel a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of whips that I have at the moment. Do I plan to stop starting new things? No. I don't mind the number so much. I just want to get to everything and I don't know when, but oh well. Also, I'm not a person that likes to change projects too much. So more than one in a day is very rare for me. And I also like to stitch on a project for a few days in a row to get really good progress. So that's why I feel like I don't touch my whips. But yeah, I think I still have to figure out a system that's working for me. As I said, I have them categorized by size. First, we're going to start with smalls, then mediums, then larges, and then babs. The way I did it is I added up both sides, so the stitch count of the height and of the width, and then divided this by 2. And if it was under 50, it's a mini. I don't have one of those going at the moment because they usually are starts and finishes because they go so quick. Then I have 5 smalls. Those are between 50 and 99. Then mediums between 100 and 149. Largest between 150 and 249. And BAPs are over 250. I have my notebook here with my Notion up where I have track all my stitchy stuff, and I will be referencing this throughout. I want to start with a whip that is not on my whip list. And you're probably thinking like, well, why? The reason is this is a round robin, and I don't really know how to put this on my whip list because I'm doing this with my friends Alex, Marion, and Fanny, and we're doing those 4 seasonal pillows by Crochet à Gogo, and we're starting with autumn on our own piece and then sending them along so that each of us is doing 1 season on every piece, if that makes sense. And this is also my newest whip because I started this today. I had hoped to start this at Basel where I met all 3 of them, but I was not happy with my fabric and especially how the white showed or did not show on my fabric. So I restarted this, and this is the autumn one, as I said, and I'm doing this 2/2 with the code for DMC on a 32 count light taupe Lugana. And now I'm super happy with this. And yeah, we have not figured out a date when we're going to send those on, so not sure how much time I have, but yeah, at the longest until the start of winter, I guess. I have this in a project bag I made. I actually made all of the project bags that I have that are not those Amazon baggies. And this is this wonderful hot air balloon project bag. So I don't know if I should put this into my whip list as the small pillow, which is I think 89 by 89, or the size that it would have if I have all 4 of them in one. Then I can't put in the fabric because I will be stitching on 4 different fabrics. Now we're getting onto the whips that are actually on my list. Starting, as I said, with the small ones. The first one is also maybe the most pitiful start that I have. This is called Cabin in the Woods by Tiny Modernist. I started this December 13th of 2023 and I haven't touched it since. Yeah. Every time I show this, I have to laugh because you almost can't see it. It's just, I think, one thread in the corner. I did 1 start a day for Advent last year, and this was a day that I did not have time to stitch. This is on a 32 count vintage blue linen by Zweigart with the code for DMC, and it's just in an Amazon baggie. There are not many colors, so those are all the colors that are in there. I think this will look super lovely. I still want to stitch this. I just, yeah, it was never a priority. It will go super quick, so I hope to get this out maybe in December or January, and then, or maybe even get this out on its birthday and finish it up in a day. I could do that. It just was never a priority. The next small is from a booklet by Brenda Gervais with the needle and thread, and I almost got that pronounced correctly right now. Yes. So this is the booklet, Seasons of the Heart, and there are all 4 seasons in there. I already finished winter, and the one I have going now is spring, and I never really got into summer or something. And this is what I have. This one I am stitching not with the call for overdyes, but with conversion that I made. Some of them are the DMC substitutes that she recommends, but most of them I picked myself, just what I liked. And this is what I have now. This is a 35 count antique ivory linen by Zweigart, and I'm doing it 102 with CXC threads. And I really, really like the coverage that CXC gives 1/2 on 35 or the 36 count. I started this on February 25 and worked on it one more day at the end of February, and that's it. I am doing all 4 seasons, or I want to do all 4 seasons on the same fabric. I have enough to do all of them. So not sure when I will get this out again, because it's not really spring right now. So yeah, but we'll see. My next whip is called Stitches RSVP by Posy Design. I started this on May 18th together with my friends Alex, Salek Stitches, and Erin from Cozy Town Stitches. And this is a stitch along with the hashtag Stitches RSVP Sal. Alex, I know that she finished it. Erin, I don't know if she finished it. This is in a small project bag I made. I'm not terribly happy about the quality of this, but it will do. And this is my progress. I'm stitching this on a 32 count. And I have this, yeah. Blue Spruce linen by Zweigart. And I'm using sulky threads 1/2. So I went into my sulky stash and started picking out colors that I liked for this. And then I got stalled because I didn't have all the sulkies at that point and didn't know what to use or what to pick, and stopped stitching on this. Now I have a full set of sulky, so I really should get back into this and finish this up, because I think there's only 1,500 stitches left on this, so this could be really quick. The other thing with this is I want to change the cat to a black and white tuxedo cat like Mario. So I still have to figure that out, but should not be too terribly hard, so probably should just do it, right? The last time I stitched on this was May 22nd. On May 30th, I started a pattern by Sub Rosa Design. This was for a stitch along called hashtag Sub Rosa Summer Sale. Well, I haven't touched it since. I picked the Welcome Spring pattern that was in a punch needle and primitive stitcher. I picked Welcome Spring by Sub Rosa that was in the 2019 spring issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And I'm just going to pick a darker gray or black thread for the cat. And then instead of Welcome Spring, I want to write Mario or something like that in that sign. For this, I'm using overdyes from Stash. It's looking a little bit meager, but there are not too many colors in this. And I'm using fabric I dyed myself. It looks like this. Let me open it up a little more. This is what this looks like. This is a 40 count, and those are my colors. Yeah, super lovely. Not spring themed anymore because, as I said, I'm changing it, so I could get back to this. I mean, I could get back to all of them, but yeah, haven't had a chance here. And as I said, I only stitched on this one time on May 30th. One more small, and then we're gonna head on to medium-sized projects. The small category is my smallest one, so why am I wondering that I have too many whips? But then also a lot of finishes I had this year were from smalls. So yeah. The last small is a very recent start. I started this for hashtag Sunflower September that I started. And for the premise to stitch anything with sunflowers on it. This pattern is called Sunflower Garden by the Old Barn Stitching Co. And this was in our welcome package at Big Stitch Retreat in Rotterdam in July. The colors I'm using are the called for cottage garden threads, oregano and marigold for the green and the yellow. And then I picked two classic colorworks for the two browns. They were called for just for DMCs. Yeah, in here I have my lovely sunflower needle minder that I bought from Laura Cotton and Clay UK. And now I finally need to show you the project. Here it is. So with this one, at first I said I don't want to be too small. I'm going to do it 2/2 on 28 count. I looked through my stash and found this 27 count Whisper Linda Lugana or even weave and started 2/2 on that corner sunflower. And I didn't like it. It was just too not dainty enough. I wanted it more sweet and cute, and I thought it would be too massive. So I went tiny and restarted it right below 1/1 4 cross on 27 count. And this is what it looks like now. Oh, I love this now. It's so elegant and cute. And yeah, I did all this in one day, I think. This I started on September 17th. And yeah, I'm already 20% in. That's in there. And that is my last small, as I said. And I will grab my medium projects now, and I think there are 12 of them. Let's kick off the medium-sized projects with Celestial by Kooler Design. This one I started on January 25th, and it has been one that was a focus piece of mine sometime earlier in the years I have. Well, that's not huge, but quite a bit of progress on it. I am stitching this on this crazy funky galaxy fabric. It is 28 count galaxy linen from Bauble Creations. And this one is also one of those opal ones. Yeah, like that, you can see. And I basically have a quarter. This is some heavy stitching. It's not too big, but yeah, a lot to do here and backstitch and stuff. And I think I just have the perfect needle minder for this. And we have a Mario joining us now. Hi! Aww. He wants to go outside and I have blocked his way. Yeah, I last stitched on this on April 8th and still have quite a ways to go. I'm using all the calls for DMC, and there are a lot for being a smallish pattern. I had a little bit of fabric problems with this when I started out, but I'm super happy with this one now. And yeah, still love it. Hello, Mario. Want to say hi? Hi. Oh. He hates it when you hold him. I can get away with it a little bit sometimes. Yeah, but not today, right? The next one is one of the very first whips I started. It's called Henna Mandala by Ink Circles. And I started this on June 15th, 2023. And this is sadly a little bit neglected. So I had just a tiny start and then did a little bit more on this at the beginning of this year, and it has been languishing since then again. So it's not the Vip's fault. I guess there just have been more newer, more interesting things, but this is on a 32 count linen, just a beige color by Zweigart. I don't know the exact name. And the floss I'm stitching this with is a DMC variegated in 4130. So this beautiful orange to brown to red. And I just decided that I'm going to put this into this clutch project bag, handbag thingy that held my cinnamon stars until 2 days ago. And you will not see cinnamon stars today because I finished it. Yay! So maybe this will help get this along a little bit better. Oh well. Who knows? I love it. It's beautiful. I'm sure it's going to be stunning once it's done. I just very rarely feel the urge to stitch on it. But I also really don't want to put it into pips because I like it. Next up is one that I struggle with, to be honest. This is called Butterfly Wheat by Carolyn Manning. And I've had this pattern in my stash forever. It was one of the very first ones I bought. Then I finally started it on May 1st for my Mania starts and also for Manning May. And I'm not happy. So this is what I have so far. I am stitching this on fabric I dyed myself. This is ice dyed, so a little bit crazy. And I'm using all the calls for over dyes. Just 2 are substitutes because I couldn't get those. And the thing with this is, I think it's too busy. It's too much. It's so hard to stitch with all that tiny things. I don't enjoy it very much. So this is on a 32 count linen that I, as I said, dyed myself, and I just prefer 1/2 stitching with over dyes. Also, as I said, it looks muddy. I'm not a fan. This will at least go into my pips or UFO. What would you do? I'm not sure. It will definitely not stay a whip. That's for sure. The next one, on the other hand, I really like. This is called Bauble Birds by Amity from Boomerang Stitches. And this is a pattern that I started on July 1st for Christmas in July. And I think for the hashtag Bauble All the Way SAL, hosted by my friend Alex from Salex Stitches. And yeah, this is what I have so far. The beautiful needle minder is again by Lauren from Cotton and Clay. And I'm stitching this, shock oh shock, on a 22 count Rustico Ada by Zweigart. Yeah, it's an orange line, so by Zweigart. 1/1 with the called for colors, but in CXC thread. So it gives super nice coverage on the 22 count. And yeah, I already put in the 2024, so I basically have to finish this year now, and I really want to. When we're coming closer to Christmas, I don't know, that fabric, I have the feeling that it shreds my thread. It's so hard to get the thread through. And it's not that the thread is too thick to go for, it's just scratchy in a way. I'm not an Ada stitcher. That's what I'm basically wanting to say. Haven't touched this since July, but that's fine. I just, yeah, really want to get back to this when we're coming closer to Christmas. The name of the next one suggests that I really should get this out soon. This is called Autumn Night Garden by Tiny Modernist. This was another mania start on May 26th. And this is what I have. I need to put something behind this. Yeah, this will work. This is on 36 count gunmetal fabric by Weeks Dye Works. And this is one of the old Weeks fabrics that don't have the swaggered base. So it was so loose and so hard to stitch on. But what I did was I cranked up my iron to full heat, full steam, steamed this for probably half an hour, threw on some spray starch, ironed it again, and now it's nice to stitch on. So I'm super glad that I was able to make this work. I'm doing this 1/2 with the call for DMC colors. And this is one of the ones that I have in the Q-snap because the whole design will just fit perfectly into this Q-snap. And so I have it in there. Haven't touched it since May 26th, but oh well. I really like this design and I hope to get back to it soon. And now that I have this new bag I made, it's garden themed, and this is called Autumn Night Garden. I hope I can stuff this in here. Yes, I can. I just realized that I told you a lie before. I'm stitching it with the called for colors, but it's the CXC threads. So 1/2 on 36 count with CXC, which gives a wonderful coverage. That's the threads. This pattern by Tiny Modernist was her November Patreon chart of last year. So it is not available just now, but I guess she will release this very soon since it's autumn. And she usually releases them 1 year after. And it has a new home now. Yay! Next up is Athena by Carolyn Manning. And this was a restart in May, on May 12th to be exact. I had started this sometime last year in October, so almost a year ago, but I started it on a fabric in the wrong spot and it didn't fit. So I kept all the colors and was looking for a fabric, and then I saw, I think, Marjorie from Marjorie Made stitch a Carolyn Manning 1/1, and I got inspired. This is on 27 count vintage country mocha, so again the Linda fabric, 1/1, and it's so pretty. It's so dainty and cute. It goes quite quickly too. I think I did 1,000 stitches in a day, but haven't picked it up since. Again, it's one of those, I really, really like it, but it's just never a focus. I don't know why. Let me show you the call for DMC. They're a little bit of a mess, but hey ho. I will try to, now that I have them out, clean off them, all of them up a little bit. I saw this on Megan the Seattle Stitchers channel, that she twists all of her floss until it does this and then puts the end in the ring, and like this they stay nice. So I'm going to try that. This project is in this bag. One of the first project bags I made too, so quite floppy, but I don't mind. At the end of this video, you can probably call me Rudolph with my red nose. Talking about Christmas, what a segue. Next one is a Christmassy one, and this is called Woodland Cheer by Dimensions. This is a Dimensions Gold Petite kit that I started on December 12th, and this is what I have. So the kit fabric was a beige 16 count Ada, super stiff, super scratchy, and it yeah, you were supposed to do a lot of French knots in the background. And because I didn't like both of those ideas, I picked this 32 count beige with light dot linen, and I'm stitching 2 over 2. Yes, I think it's all 2 over 2 in this kit. Dimension sometimes has you do 3 over 2 or 1 over 2 or whatever. And I stitched on this a lot in December and then again in July for Christmas in July. So you can see little birdies and the reindeer coming up here, the star. It's not backstitched yet though. So that's what's missing here. And I'm using the kit floss. And as, yeah, it's a mess. I have no idea how you're supposed to handle DMC floss in a way that it doesn't get like this. If you have tips, please let me know down below because this is not pretty. Okay, the next one is again one of those that I just love. I really want this. I love how it looks, but I never stitch on it. And it's also not that it's hard to stitch on, so I have actually no idea why. This is Austrian one by Bleu de Chine. This was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. Do I have the information? I always get tripped up with this. Just Cross Stitch. Of course, I don't have the information. If you really want to know and if you're on the lookout for this, please just write me a comment or an email and I will search for it because I don't think this is available anywhere else. This I started on December 20th, also for my advanced starts. And I'm doing this on 32 count vintage dune linen from Zweigert with the DMC, the very popular 115. This is so lovely. I haven't picked this up since the day I started it, and I have no idea why. Probably just shiny new things. This is one I might even keep this out because I really want to get back to this one. The next whip is a very new one. I started this on September 26th, so 2 days ago, for my friend Sally, Flossie Says and Grows birthday. And she started Americana Bleu by October House Fiber Arts. And I joined her, but I'm not going to do the whole thing. I like it, but I don't love it so much that I have to have the whole thing. And also, I'm not the biggest fan of that little bit wiggly alphabet. So I charted out my own version. It's basically just a few of the sewing tools with borders and got it started. And this is what I have so far. So this is the whole width. It's going to be until to like here. And that's the height that I charted. So that's the top and that's the bottom end. And I'm doing this on 40 count old blue linen, 1 over 2. The linen is dyed by XJU Designs. Get all the information up there. And the floss is called Withered Blue by Valdani. It's a cotton over dyed with wonderful variegation. I don't know how to hold this. Yeah, now you can see. It's very, very lovely. And yeah, I don't know what I will do if this once it's finished. I think it will be too long for a drum. Maybe just a banner somewhere in my sewing room or a really long pillow could be cute too. Yeah, if you want to see the whole thing being stitched up, check out my friend Sally's Flosstube on Instagram. Next one is quite a difference to the 40 count. This is Busy Hands, Happy Heart by Henna from Liz Matthews. This was her Patreon chart, I think June to July or July to August. You cannot get this at the moment. And I specifically joined her Patreon for this because I really want to have that pillow, that huge, wonderful pillow that has only part of the design. And she charted that for a 20 count even weave, but over two. So it's basically end up with a 10 count. And I started this on September 4th for Sunflower September because while they're not technically sunflowers, to me they look a little bit like sunflowers. And I'm doing this, as I said, on a 20 count even weave. I over dyed this a little bit to give it a wonderful sunflower color. I'm using DMC 898 and I'm doing 4/2. And this feels so wrong. Oh wow. Yeah. So I tried a lot of flosses and like Pelé cotton and stuff, and I didn't like any of them, and then settled onto this. This eats up DMC like nobody's business. So I'm really curious to see how many skeins of that. Oh, those are my swatches for the other things. Yeah, I'm curious to see how many skeins of DMC I will use up before I'm done with that pillow. The next whip is called Cabin in the Woods. And are you thinking now, well, you showed already Cabin in the Woods? Yes, I did, but it's a different one. And actually, I think there are quite a few patterns called Cabin in the Woods. This one I'm talking about is by Flossabilities. And this is a very recent new start because I started this together with Surinimi and Alex, Alex Stitches on September, not December, September 21st when we were all together at Stitch Basel. And I made my life a little bit hard there because I dyed the fabric myself and it's quite dark and it's 40 count. It's probably not the best retreat stitching, but I get it started. This is what I have. So as I said, this is a 40 count linen that I dyed myself. I love how the color turned out and it shows quite true on camera too. And this is what I have. I'm doing this with the called for DMC. I have a little corner there. I put this into this chicken and dots project bag, and these are the called for colors. Very pretty colors, and oh, this one is going to be stunning once it's done, but also think that it's still going to be a while because it's not the easiest to stitch on. Deborah from Story Mini has so much progress on this already. I don't know how she did it in a day at the retreat, honestly. Right behind the camera right now, Mario came back in and is lying in his little basket and is looking at me like, who is she talking to? He's very confused. Okay, one last medium, and then we will be on to larges. The last medium-sized whip I have is called Autumn Meditation by Carolyn Manning. It is in this wonderful project bag. And don't worry, that's not a tissue, even though I use a lot of them right now. That's a piece of paper towel that I use for my Q-snap. And this is like a focus piece for me at the moment, but because I kind of hope to get this finished this fall, but also there's a lot. So, oh, look at that. This is it. I'm stitching this on a 32 count linen by Nicolas Flamel design. I think it's from the Little Sampler collection. And with all the called for classic colorworks, this is so pretty. I mean, you can see the part that I have still left here. I started this September 19th last year. There is all the called for overdyes. These are just my colors, and I really want this on my wall. The thing with this is so much stop and go, stop and go. And of course, in my very relatively new to cross stitch brain, I didn't pick a fabric that I could travel on very well. So can show you my back. There is a little bit of traveling going on there, but not much. And this makes this very slow going. And I have a super cute owl needle minder here. I don't know where I got this. It was in an order as an extra. So this is by Carolyn Manning. Oh no, I think I said that. And this was also in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. It was in a December 2020, oops, back, December 2020 issue of Just Cross Stitch. You made it through the medium-sized ones. I will store this away now so that I don't have a complete mess here and grab my large pieces, and I have 18 of those, the biggest category. I'm back with my large projects. So we're getting bigger and bigger here, even though they're not in any order in the categories. So the first one I'm showing you in the large is not the smallest ones from the large category. If that makes any sense at all. The first, it's just the way I ironed them, basically. The first one is a kit again, a Dimensions Gold kit this time, so a big one. And it's the Wind Moon Fairy. Fairy. I started this with Jacinta of Crafting on the Plains on June 15 with the hashtag Dimensions Fairy Sal. So you can join in with any Dimensions Fairy. And I am again using the kit Floss. Again, a little bit of a mess, but this time I started putting the colors I was using onto floss drops on a huge ring because there are a few. And yeah, so this way it's a little more organized than just this mess. It's a little bit more organized than just this. I mean, oh well. I'm again not using the kit fabric, which was again 16 count Aida. I picked a 32 count vintage gray even weave and started in the top left corner. There's a needle minder I made myself, and this is how far I am. I worked on this for 2 days only in June and then went on to other things. I'm so happy with how this looks on the 32 count because yes, it's a full coverage, so technically you cannot see the background, but at first I had started it on a white and you could see it through a little bit, and it's much better with the gray, I think, especially with the background, the sky background, because that's stitch, I think, 3/2 10 stitch. Yeah. So this is my Wind Moon Fairy from Dimensions. Next we have With Thy Hands by Teresa Kogut. This I started on May 27th together again with my friend Sally from Flossy Sews and Grows. And we have the hashtag, I think just hashtag With Thy Hands Sal. I've had this chart in my stash for a while, and when I heard Sally talking that she was planning to start it, I immediately asked if I could join in. I'm doing this on a 40 count light mocha linen by Zweigart, 1/2, with the call for DMC, and I think there are 1 or 2 overdyes in there. And now that I'm talking about it, the green is actually called for, I think, Weeks Kutsu, but I didn't like at all how this was looking, so I changed it to Classic Colorworks Desert Mesquite. And this is what I have. This chart, yes, while it's big, it's not massive. So, And this is the green, as you can see, the desert muscite. And the kudzu was so similar to this one. I just didn't like it. I love this chart. There's a long way to go in this, but so pretty. I don't have a designated project bag for this yet, which is a shame because it should have its own wonderful project bag and not just an Amazon baggie, but haven't gotten around to it. So for now, this is what we're working with. Next up, we have another Christmas in July start. I started this together with my friend Alex from Salax Stitches for the hashtag Christmas House Sal. When you look at this, you wouldn't think that it's a large piece, but from the dimensions it is. And I mean, that penguin is huge, but there's also a Christmas house on this, so it fit the bill. And I just love that penguin. He's super sweet. I started this together with Alex on the 24th and haven't gotten around to stitching it on it since then. I started, which is unusual for me, in the bottom right because I wanted to get right into that house. This is on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha. Oh, the pattern is by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. And I'm doing this with overdyes from Stash. And this one, I really need to sort this because this is what it looks like at the moment. Yeah, these need a ring and also a little bit of organization. Probably won't happen until I get this out again, closer to Christmas. I knew some of them are called for, but most of them are just what I had in Stash. Mostly classic colorworks. We are staying in the Christmas mode in a way. And the next one is called Christmas Parade by Cottage Garden Samplings. This one I started on November 3rd, 2023. This was one I saw the pattern and I immediately needed to have it. So I ordered it and also all the called for DMC. This is in a handmade project bag. Looking like this, super cute. And I'm doing this on 32 count Vintage Grey Lugana by Zweigart. So you have seen this fabric before. Today I really like it. 2/2, as I said, with the call for DMC. And the biggest part of the chart is the Santa. And I got quite a bit of him done. So, yeah. I have a needle minder that I made myself. Very pretty. I think once that Santa is done, this could go very quickly. We're still on to Christmas here. I guess those were all in a pile because I had them out in July. The next one is called Winter Sampler by Jenny van de Wiele. This was in the World of Cross Stitching magazine that I again cannot remember the issue or date. So if you want to know, please write me a comment or just Google it because you can find this. This was a restart on the 6th of July this year. I had originally started it on December 10th. And I had started this 2/2 on an overdyed 36 count and I did not like how it looked. And so I decided to do my own sulky conversion. And this is what I have. This is on a hand-dyed fabric by XJU Designs called Marble Steel. It's a 36 count opalescent linen. And yeah, again, needle minder I made. And at first I was concerned that the white wouldn't show, but I think it's fine. I mean, it's not too well here, but I think all in all this will be completely fine. I'm doing this, as I said, with sulkies, and I made my own sulky conversion, and I have all of them in this box. Yeah, I really love this. I love the chart. I love the fabric. I love stitching with the sulky. And I also love my project bag. Little robins. Super sticker that does not belong there. Yeah. Super happy with the restart now and looking forward to stitching on this more in the season. I am a seasonal stitcher, so it's not that I would never stitch on this out of season, but there's just so many wonderful seasonal stitches that this will have to wait a few more months probably. The next one was also a Mania start. It's in this wonderful, amazing project bag I made. Look at this, kitties. This could be my Mario. I love this, and also here, more cats. And fitting with the bag, in here is Cat Garden by Una Buena Pieza. I started this May 20th and have a sad start. I mean, not that sad, but yeah. This I started in the middle using all the called for DMC 2/2 on a 32 count light top Lugana. This needle minder I bought, I did not make this. And this is what I have. There's no back stitch in there yet. And if you can is showing. Yeah. This is a cute one. It's usually I'm not the biggest fan of those pixel art style stitches, but this one, it's cats. It's a ton of cats. I could not resist. As I said, I started this May 20th. That's all I did. Mania was a lot of starting and not doing anything else, so yeah. I still love this. I still want to stitch on this. When? Who knows? Well, we're not done with Mania starts yet. The next one is called Summer Plums by the Artsy Housewife. This was my very first The Artsy Housewife start. I saw this, joined her Patreon just for this chart because I needed it. This is what the whole thing looks like. I added on some cotton because I have very tight margins, but the fabric was just perfect for the stitch. So this is how I make it work. I will forward it a little bit to show you. So the fabric I'm using is 36 count Mirage by Picture This Plus. And I'm doing 1/2 with the DMC conversion and using some overdyes from Stash. So all you can see here so far is DMC, but I really want to do the house especially in an overdyed. I have not decided which one yet. It will stay a yellow house, but I haven't picked an overdyed yet. Those are two options that I have. So this is just a gift thread from XJU Designs that was in my fabric of the month, and this is Amber by Week Steinworks. So those are two options, but I will decide once I pick this back up. Again, I was so thrilled to start this immediately and then never stitched on it again after May 23rd, but it's not the pattern's fault because I love it. I just had so much to do. I don't feel like my large pile over there is getting any smaller. Plus Mario is back in, so let's see how this goes. The next large piece is called Spring Quaker by Lilas Studio. I started this on April 13th. It was a birthday start for my friend Alex, Alex Stitches. And I want to do all 4 seasons of her Quakers because I just love them. And I'm really happy with the progress I have on this. So this is what I have so far. I'm stitching this on a 36 count linen, and I overdyed this myself because I just could not get the color I wanted, so I had to make it. I wanted just a light green that's little, yeah. I wanted basically exactly that color, and it comes across quite right. I started in the middle because I knew that I wanted to change the Quaker motifs. They're all brown, and I don't know why you would pick brown for spring. So I'm going to change them to greens. And I could not decide at the beginning, so I started with the DMC part in the middle. And almost got that done. There's just a little bit of that basket left. And yeah, I'm doing this 2 over 236 count, which makes it really plush and pop. And I'm also changing the color of the letters to the sage green instead of brown. I'm super happy with this. I love those Lilas Studio seasonal Quakers, and you will see 2 more seasons here, and I know that she's working on the winter one. This one is in this project bag I made with lovely bunnies on, just perfect for spring. And as it happens, the next one on my pile there is Summer Quaker by Lilas Studio. I started this on August 1st, 2023 for Samantha the Hygge Stitcher's Live in the Sunshine Saal. And this got me into this whole Lilas Studio Quaker thing. It's amazing. I'm doing this on 36 count natural raw linen by Zweigart. And this is what I have. This I started 2 over 2 because I didn't know any different back then. But I'm not mad about it because I love how, yeah, as I said with the spring one, how this pops. And I'm doing all the called for DMC and have quite a bit done on this, as you may be able to tell. Yeah, I got this out again in August this year, finished up that section on top, did the little cloud in the middle. Oh, I love this piece. I cannot wait to have this done. But I guess there will still be quite a bit of time until that happens. But that's fine. My notion says that I'm 82, not 82, I wish 28% done with this. So the middle part that is basically full coverage, that's a beast. On to some more summer stitching. The next one was an impromptu start on July 20th while Midsummer Night Stitch, and I just wanted to have a new start. I had the urge. And I picked Summer Tear or Summer Celebration by Madame Chantilly. I'm doing this with all the called for colors, but I picked CXC threads. Here they are again. A little bit of a mess, so let me clean those up and you can have a look at them while, oops, I do that, if I manage. So yeah, wonderful colors. And I looked through my fabric stash and decided to go tiny again. And I'm doing this on 25 count. Is it taupe or light taupe? Light taupe, Lugana, 1 over 1 full cross. I started in the top middle and worked my way over there. And this looks so stunning. Those tiny stitches, and look at the shading in the seagull. Oh, so pretty, so tiny. So that's the whole width. It will fit on here. I want to, I say this every time, but I want to do all 4 seasons, but I have no idea when to fit them in. This list and this project bag, not too summery, but pretty. Still not done here. The next one is a very special one. I mean, all of them are special, but it's in this project bag that I made. And in here lives a little bit of spring by Blackbird Designs. It's the very first Blackbird I started, if I'm remembering correctly. I started this August 17th this year. And yeah, you can see that there's a lot of red and pink on there. There's the big red house, and it's lovely the way it is. Don't get me wrong. But I just saw it and felt I need to do a blue house. I don't know why. It's just, yeah. So I did my own complete color conversion, and these are the colors I'm using. These are blues and purples and teal and blue. Yeah, you can see. It's almost all classic colorworks with one weeks and one gentle art, I think. I did this completely from stash, and I also dyed my own linen. And this is what I have. So there's a hanging thread, but let's get that out of the way. This is a 46 count linen. And yeah, this is the color. It's a very light blue grayish color. As I said, it's 46 count, 1/2 obviously. And I just loved how this is turning out. Stitching on this is so much fun. The color conversion, I'm so proud of. I really need to type this up and put it on my Instagram. But I haven't had the chance yet. I cannot wait to see how this will grow and how it will look. I love this piece. So happy that I did it. The next one is a Chatelaine. I started this as my birthday start last year on August 26, 2023. And I started Little Tuscany Mandala by Chatelaine. It's in my very first vinyl front, not very good quality project bag, but it does the job. And this one surprised me because I didn't think this was a large. Large is 150 to 249, and this is, I think, 151 by 151, so just in the large category. This is what I have. There's my needle minder in the middle. Let's put it on top. So this is 32 count Terracotta Lugana by Zweigart, using all the called for floss and fancy floss, except for 1 or 2 that I couldn't get, but yeah. And this is so pretty. I love how it sparkles and shines, and it's not even beaded yet. I love this. I have to say it's hard to stitch because all of the specialty stitches, the chart is quite hard to read, but I still really, really like this. And once this is done, I'm going to start my big Chatelaine. So it's waiting in my closet, so I should probably get on with that. Get back to Chatelaine Wednesdays or something. The next whip is the third one of the Lilas Studio Quakers. This is Autumn Quaker by Lilas Studio, and this is a very recent new start. I started this on the first day of autumn this year on September 22nd. Again, there's a sale hosted by Samantha. Autumn is a joyful song. And yeah, I started it that day. I won't use that quote, the autumn is a joyful quote, that is on there because I personally don't like it, but it's the hashtag, so. I started this on Sunday while at Stitch Basel, and I started it in the top middle. Yeah, this is oak. This is the fabric that I have. It's a little hard to show. And this is 36 count Chow Chow linen by XJU Designs. And I'm doing again 2/2 because I did it with the other Quakers as well. And this is what I have so far. I'm doing, as I said, the called for DMC. There's just one color, and that was in that leaf, and it was so similar to my fabric, it didn't show at all. So I'm using an over-dyed Silks for You silk for that. And I love how this is turning out. So cute. And my needle minder. Oh, it's so pretty. This was a gift from my friend Funny. It's autumny. It has a cat on it. It's perfect. Look at it. Oh. I have this in this project bag that you saw this fabric before. I have another bag with that fabric, and those are all the calls for DMC. Very autumnal and pretty and wonderful. Not only winter Quaker is missing, and I will start that as soon as I'm able to, even though it will take me forever to finish all of them, but now I can stitch on each one in their season. The next whip I just put into this bag, again with the garden fabric. The colors I'm using to stitch it don't fit the bag at all, but oh well. This is a sampler garden by Modern Folk Embroidery, and I'm doing a stitch along with my friends Fanny and Alex, and we're doing hashtag a garden sampler sale. So switched up the words, oopsie. And yeah, I'm stitching this on 32 count vintage country wood Lugana. This one is a little bit crazy pattern fabric, but I'm using the backside because that one I really like. And this is what I have so far. We started this on May 24th, and I took this with me to Basel and did a little bit of that border there. I'm doing this with sulky threads, 1/2. And I love the color combination. It's not one I usually go for, and I would not hang this in my home, I guess, because I don't have those colors in my home. But I don't want to let that stop me because these colors together are just stunning. And I love the back of that fabric. Yeah. Still quite a ways to go because this thing is big. We're slowly getting there. The next one is a kit again and a fairly recent new start. I started this September 14th, another hashtag Sunflower September start. And this is Rowan Berry Garland by Magic Needle. And I started this together with Megan, the Seattle Stitcher. I again, I feel like a broken record, changed the fabric to an even weave. This is 32 count light top by Zweigert. We've had that quite a bit today. This is like vintage country mocha. It's just very universal. And let me check where the top is. I think it's like that. I started in the middle, and this is what I have. So here we go. Oh, the colors are so stunning, and I love stitching on that fabric. So very, very happy with that. I really like the color, the threads that are in this kit. I'm not sure if they are DMC, but they're lovely to stitch with. And I feel like they're a little bit better organized than the DMC, not the DMC Dimensions kits. They're on those cards, so yeah, it's easier to get them on and off, I think, but still a little bit messy. But yeah, what can you do? Moving on to September by the Cricket Collection. I started this August 31st last year. Stitched a little bit on it this year too, especially on its birthday, but didn't get too much progress yet. It's in a lovely late summery project bag, and look at that thread nest there. It's a mess. There's so many threads in here. I have talked about this at large. I just don't get why they use so many different colors and just a few stitches. I don't think it's necessary, but I already kitted it, so yeah. I am stitching all the months that I want to stitch, or yeah. Well, I did December and April are done. September is a whip, and I have August kitted. And I'm stitching all of them on 32 count linens, but in different fabrics, obviously. This is on 32 count marbled hazelnut by X2U Designs. And yeah, this is how far I am. I'm using all the cold for DMC on this, and also the cold for silk. It's a thread gather, silken colors. Yeah, and that's just half of the fabric. I have more on that side, and again, a needle minder I made. I love the chicken. Very cute. The next whip is a Quaker, which is a take on a Quaker. Michael from Star Parade Designs had that wonderful idea and designed a Quaker revolving all around ducks, so a Quaker. And we saw the original of this, so the model stitch at Big Stitch, because Michael was on our table and went a little bit crazy. So we decided to start this on September 2nd and have a stitch along too, hashtag quackalong. We were very happy to join us. Michael is wonderful, as are his charts. And yeah, let me show you what I have now. Look at that needle minder. I mean, isn't that just perfection? This is again from Laura by Cotton and Clay UK. She is also joining for this stitch along and made those little ducky needle minders. And shock of all shocks, I'm stitching this on Ada. This is 18 count beanstalk by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using sulky threads 1/2. This is what I have so far. And I'm using mainly this turquoise sulky, but I'm also going to add in the blue and the yellow. Yeah. I also had made up a project bag for this with little duckies on, but I gave that away, so I need to make another one for myself, but haven't gotten around to it yet. I have to say this overdyed Ada by Fiber on a Whim is not too bad to stitch on. It's fine. I still prefer linen and even weave, but overdyed Ada is okay from time to time. The next large piece I have in my whip pile is also stitched with sulky and also with just a few colors. This is a mystery stitch along, the Forest Fairy Tale Cell by Quaternion Creations. I started this on June 23rd after I have seen this on the internet so many times, mainly on the channels of Chance Fiber Web and Elizabeth Savory Sewing. And I had to start it because I had the perfect fabric for it, and now I'm behind. Yeah, I know I can catch up with this quickly, so that's not too bad. This is what I have so far. This is a 36 count kiwi linen by XJU Designs, and I'm using 3 sulky colors again, dark olive, a green, and a red. So I will come a little bit closer. I'm stitching this 1/2. Yeah. This is so cute. There, as I said, there are 2 more clues out as of today. So I hope that I can get back to this fairly soon. And there are not too many parts left. So this could, if I manage to keep on with that, this could be a fairly quick finish too, which would be great. I have some needle minders down here that if a project doesn't have one, I'm going to add one. And I just found the perfect one for this piece. Look at it. It's a kiwi for the kiwi linen. Match made in heaven. And also, this actually was the last large project in my whip pile. Yeah, the biggest category, as I said. There is still a big pile over there. I still have all my babs to show you. I have 13 babs. Babs are big ass or big awesome projects. There are some huge pieces in there. One of them is very close to finish. All the other ones, not so much. So let's get on to my last pile. Okay, let's get on to that last section of my whip parade before my light is gone all the way. It's right now it's 5 p.m. here, so it's getting a little dusky because also it's very cloudy here today. But let's not waste any time. Let's get on into bibs. The first bab I want to show you is Parchment Tapestry by Rosewood Manor. I started this April 21st, and yeah, haven't worked on it that much since. I'm doing this on 40 count cream and sugar by Fiber on a Whim with all of the calls for overnights. So how do I show this? This is the whole piece of fabric. And I have a small start and I love this. This is so pretty. This was one again I saw and I really wanted to do it. And those are the calls for colors. They're all weeks, I think. But I put them onto those bigger floss drops because I really don't like the tiny weeks tags that I use. So yeah. Oh, this is so lovely. One of my very favorite Rosewood Manor pieces. We have only had one PIP slash UFO yet, which is surprising, but also good. Well, because it says that I like all my whips, which is good. Next one might be one though. So this is, and I don't even know the full name, Dragon Sampler, I think it's called, by Selenmar X Stitch. I have this in this wonderful project keeper that I made. And I started this for Year of the Dragon Sal, hosted by Samantha Higestitcher and Erica Fibers and Floss Canada. And I started an app for this, which was maybe not the best idea. I started this February 10th and then worked on it again a little bit later that month and haven't touched it since. This is on this gorgeous fabric. This is 40 count Secrets of Great Grandma by Nicholas Flamel Design. I'm doing it 1/2 with DMC, and as you can see, that huge corner and an A I've got in. It's lovely. I like the whole piece, but am I prepared to stitch this much? That's the question. Do I really want this that much? So yeah, could I do something with just that? I don't know. What would you do? Would you put it into pips and wait a little longer? Would you UFO that? Because that fabric is stunning. Let me know, what would you do, please. The next one again is one that I really, really like. I don't have too much progress on this, but this one I want to get back to. This is Mary Ann Kittle 1813 by Crow's Feet Stitching. And I started this on May 9th together with my friend Ruth, Country Gal 854. And I'm stitching this on a different kind of fabric. This is 36 count Soil by XGU Designs. And there were 2 colorways in that pattern. And I think I picked the muted one and changed the black to a dark brown to make it less dark. And it's not in your face, but I love the colors on this. There are Algerian eyelets here. They're super fun to do. They look lovely. And as I said, I'm using the muted colorway. These are CXC threads that I love on the 36 count. There are quite a few. And yeah, I have not touched this since May actually, but I really want to. So yeah, that's that. Isn't that just lovely? Ruth is, I think, doing the bright colorway. So if you want to check that out, yeah, go to her Instagram. but super happy with this one and definitely not going to UFO this project. The next pup whip is a long dog, my very first long dog. I started this May 3rd, and this is Albert and Effie by Long Dog Samplers. I just love that chart. You don't see it that much on Flosstube and Instagram, I find, but I really like the story that the designer wrote for this on their page, and that's why I bought it. And I'm doing this one again on an XJU linen. Never mind that on top, that was just some floss tryout. This is Deep Impact. Let me check the count. Probably 36. Yes, 36 count Deep Impact by XJU Designs. I have a lot of her fabrics because they're, look at that. That's just amazing. I love that fabric. For this one, again, I'm doing Sulky. This was the very first Sulky project I started. And I started in the middle. This is what I have so far. That border here was a beast. But I'm doing this with a dark blue Sulky 1/2. And look how gorgeous this is. I mean, there's still a lot to do because this will use a good portion of that fabric. I mean, it's not a bab for nothing. Yeah. So beautiful. I also have a Christmas bab. This is Christmas Quaker by Daily Pattern Post. And this was a restart because I started in the wrong spot of the fabric again with this, and yeah, had to restart it so that it could match the whole design. I have this in a Christmas tree bag that I made, and I'm using different over dyes for this. So the pattern is a monochrome, but I picked two greens, a lighter green, a darker green, a lighter red, a darker red, yellow, not red, yellow, gold, and white. And yeah, I'm doing different motifs with the different colors. This is what I have so far. It's a huge piece of fabric, but yeah, I only have a little bit. This is a 32 count opalescent natural by Zweigart. I'm doing 2/2, except for the gold, which is a Petite treasure braid. I'm doing 1/2. And just a tiny start on this one. This is going to be huge. But lovely. I'm really looking forward to getting back to this. The next whip is in this lovely project bag. And this might be one of my favorites. I mean, it's really hard to pick, but this one, I just love it. This is the Biedermeier Sampler 1864 by GGR. I started this together with Shiloh of Xstitch MD for the hashtag Biedermeier Sal. And I really liked the pattern, but I was not the biggest fan of the colors. So I'm doing a complete color conversion for this to browns and blues. And this is what I have so far. This is 40 count vintage country mocha. And this is huge. It's massive. So I picked out blue and brown DMC colors, and I'm just choosing the ones that I like best for every part. So I hope I can make this work now. I cannot see a thing. Yeah. Oh, this is just, I love this. I have 2 rings of floss in my bag, 1 ring of blues, little bit wrinkly, and one ring of browns. And once this is done in like 3,000 years, this will fit perfectly into my craft room. The combination of browns and blues is so elegant and I love it. It's so pretty. I haven't stitched on this since January, I think, which is a shame because this is, as I said, one of my favorites. The next whip is a special one because I started this for the leap day, leap year sale. This is in a project folder that I made out of an old quilted pillowcase. And in here is Anton Uffinel 1835 by Hands Across the Seas samplers. My first and so far only Hands Across the Seas. I am stitching this on Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim. It's a 46 count. And I only have a tiny piece done. The thing with this is I'm doing this with the silks, the Avea Aswa silks. And on a 46 count, this is thick and plump. It looks lovely, but it's sometimes a little hard to stitch on. Plus I have only a very crooked copy of this in my markup, so I might go in again and fix that so that it's easier to see and mark off. It's my piece of fabric here. Yeah, that border is so pretty. I love that whole piece. So, will I be done with this in 4 years? I have no idea. If not, I will just add on 4 more years. Who cares, right? Yeah, I have this in this project folder, as I said, all the silks in here. Back to Christmas. Next one is in a lovely Christmassy project bag. And in here live my 12 Days of Christmas by Hello from Liz Matthews. These are a restart again, and every single one by itself is not a bad at all. But I want to do all 12 of them on one piece of fabric, and this will be a bab. So this is what I have. I restarted this on July 14th this year. And now they're tiny because I'm stitching this on a 25 count opalescent fabric, 1/1. I started with day 2. And this fabric I over-dyed myself. I just wanted something very lightly modeled and just not white. And I think that went very well. I'm using the Colt for DMC. So it's charted in NPI, but there's a DMC conversion. I'm using the DMC with some substitutions. So the border is called for in black, but I'm using a dark green over dyed. And I'm also changing the snowflakes on the day 2 because they were black as well, charted, and I don't do that. And with the houses, so there are letters on the houses. And I saw someone, was it Brenda Hendrick Maniac maybe, that did windows instead. So I hope I remember to do that once I get that back out. I'm using so Hella from Liz Matthews has on her website a freebie border where you can put all the days in, and you don't do the fancy borders for each individual day, which I'm planning to do. The next one was the very first one I ever did on 46 count, and I liked it, so I kept going. This is Lettres Carmin, or Crimson Letters, by Reflet de Soie. This was in an old The Gift of Stitching magazine, but you can also get this on her website. And I'm doing this as a sale, hashtag Crimson Letters sale with Katie Peacock Stitcher. And this is stunning. Mine is on 46 count seashell linen by XJU Designs. This is, it doesn't, yeah, now it comes across correctly. This is a little bit lilac-y, pinky, grayish. And at first, I never thought that the red would go with it, but it is really, really nice. I have the best needle minder ever on here. I made this. Isn't this cute? Yeah, and this is my stitching. I somehow mixed up the dark red and the lighter red, so it was charted the other way around, but it doesn't really matter. I'm using 2 anchor threads colors for this. There's just 2 reds that matched the DMC. Yeah, haven't touched this in forever, but I still love it and I want to get back to this soon. How often do you hear that sentence or those words in a web parade? But at least I still love it, which is all that matters, right? Not too much to go now. My next bab is my only true full coverage I have going at the moment. I have a huge bag that this is in. And this is Spring Montage by Paint Free Crafts, artwork by Janet Stever. I have seen this on Flosstube so many times and I fell in love with the whole series. I'm so tempted each season to start each seasonal piece of this, but I have so little done on my spring, so I have refrained for now. Let's see how long I can keep up with that. I started this March 1st this year, and I'm doing it on an easy count fabric, 25 count, 2/1 10 stitch. And this is what I have. This never looks as nice on camera as it does in real life. It's a little bit better if I stay back there, I think. Yeah, so it's lovely to stitch. It goes quite quickly because of the 10 stitch. The back is very thick, but yeah, so that's that one. There is so much more to go on this, but I'm not in any hurry to finish this. The next one over here is huge. This is Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. It was their yearly stitch along from 2021, I think. It is in this wonderful English paper pieced project bag. And I'm doing it on 32 count Lucan by Zweigart, and 2/2 with 2 anchor greens. And I mean, yeah, I love the 2 colors. I love that fabric. My No Time Like the Present, which you will see shortly, is on that fabric as well. This one though is so much bigger than No Time Like the Present, and yeah, a long way to go. I started this August 22nd last year, and this is what I have so far. I have stitched on that on and off a little bit here and there, and I have a plan to finish this next year. I have no idea how I will be going about this because it will be a lot of stitching each month. But it would be so great to have this next to my No Time Like the Present since they're on the same fabric. I'm 20% in, which is not too bad, but there's still 40,000 stitches left. So yeah, and that's not even I won't need the whole piece of fabric, but still, it's going to be huge. But so pretty. Even though I have a lot of very big pieces, I cannot help starting new babs. And the last start was yesterday, actually, for Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. I started this together with my friend Alex from Select Stitches. And I'm doing all the calls for colors. There's DMC and 2 overdyes in this. This is my lovely color thingy. I first thought that I would not start this piece, but it's just too stunning, and I saw it so much on social media, so I really wanted to start it. And this is my start from yesterday. This is a 46 count beige gray linen by XGU Designs. I'm doing it 1/2, and I started a little bit in the corner. I got just over 800 stitches in here yesterday. Ah, this is so pretty. Again, browns and blues and greens. So this could be a great companion piece to my Biedermeier sampler. I'm just realizing. Once they're both done. And who knows when that will be. And we're on to my very last whip. If you made it this far, you're amazing. I have no idea how long this will be after editing, but probably a good chunk of time. The last whip is one that actually might be my next finish. It lives in this project bag. And it is this year's stitch along from Modern Folk Embroidery, No Time Like the Present. Yes, I'm caught up with this. I have everything done until the September section, and I'm very much planning to finish this in October, at the beginning of October. So very, very soon. My plan is to finish this hopefully while in London for a stitch in London and get to ring the bell for this. How amazing would that be? This is so stunning. It is on 32 count Lucan, the same fabric that Fruits of Plenty is on, and you can already tell that it's way smaller. I'm using two DMC colors, 838 and 840, and it's so elegant and beautiful. It will fit perfectly behind my couch. This is comfort stitching for me. If I cannot decide what I want to stitch on, I will stitch on this. All that said, I will still be glad once this is done because I cannot see those colors anymore while stitching. There's just a little bit left down here. And then it's done. My very first bab finish. This will be. And that is it. You made it through all of my works in progress. Yeah, 48 plus the one round robin is a number. Still have some new starts planned in October. Oopsie. And for the rest of the year as well. As I said, I want to figure out some system to not feel overwhelmed, not with the number, but with wanting to stitch on all of them. So if you have any good ideas or suggestions, please let me know down below. Maybe I will do WIP-Go next year, but not sure. Thank you so much for watching. First for this video, but also if for watching my channel in general. I have been doing this for 1 year now, and just a few weeks ago I reached 1.5k subscribers, which is wild to me. I love doing this. I'm so grateful and happy that I'm able to share my stitching journey with you. I made wonderful friends through doing this, and that alone is the best thing ever. I'm so happy that I met those wonderful women. I won't mention any names right now, but if you're watching, you know who you are. And apart from those very close friends, I also met so many other awesome stitchers. Yeah, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching and liking. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing because it would mean the world to me. And if you could also maybe give me a thumbs up or leave a comment, that really helps me to reach other awesome stitchers and get this video out to other people and keep this wonderful community growing. So right now I will try to clean up the mess I made around me with all of my whips and get on to editing this, which will be interesting with all the covers I want to add in and editing out all my sneezing breaks. And yes, I will edit those out because they're loud. That's it for me for now. Do you want to make a guess on how many whips I have in 1 year's time, and we can come back and see who was right? I don't dare to make a guess. Did I think a year ago, that I would have close to 50? Not really. But I'm having fun, and that's the most important thing. So before I make this longer than it needs to be, thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.